Welcome, everyone, to race number 9 of 29 here in the 1991 throwbacks. And what a season that we've had so far. Pretty much every single race has just been balls to the walls, exciting, with swerves all over the place. Oh, it's been fantastic. And it really shows here in the points. Alan Kulwicki, he's the defending series champion, and he's leading in points, but man, it's not by a large margin. Mark Martin, Jeff Bodine, Rusty Wallace, and Ricky Rudd all within 50 points of the points lead. Let's throw in Davey Allison and Dale Earnhardt. They're also within 100 points. The wins have been all over the place. Morgan Shepherd even picked up a victory. So it has been a very, very crazy and hectic season so far. It's going to be about who's able to be consistent through these first 10 races to see who's able to jump out. No one has jumped out yet, which is probably going to change because this is Talladega, one of the most unpredictable races on the schedule. And of course, the second race of the Winston Million. Rusty Wallace won the Daytona 500. If he wins today, he will get a $100,000 bonus and will have a shot at $1 million come Charlotte next week or at the Southern 500 at Darlington later on in the season. Coming down for the pole position, the winner of the pole is going to be Ricky Rudd with a blazing fast 198.825 miles per hour. And wow, that is just an absolutely phenomenal time by Ricky Rudd. Not exactly a driver that you would expect to see up front here at one of the big tracks, but that is what we have here today. On forward, we'll get you the top 10 here really quick. So starting on the pole, Ricky Rudd in second place. We have Phil Parsons in the number 1. Dale Earnhardt will start third. Darrell Waltrip will be fourth. Bill Elliott fifth. Points leader Alan Kulwicki 6th, Sterling Marlin 7th, Kyle Petty 8th, Brett Bodine will roll off in 9th, and Morgan Shepherd will round out the top 10. As I said earlier, Rusty Wallace, he is the man that is in contention for the $100,000 bonus today for winning the Daytona 500. He is starting way, way, way in the back. Here's your command for today's race.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
As I said, Rusty Wallace is starting way in the back. He's going to be starting in 34th. He did not have a good qualifying run at all. And so he's going to be starting way in the back. Not very characteristic of Rusty Wallace in the slightest. 42 cars are entered for today's event here at Talladega, which is your standard size field for these NASCAR races. Pace car comes up off of turn number 4. He turns down into the pit road. Ricky Rudd, Phil Parsons leading him down the long tri-oval. The start and finish line isn't until you get onto the little straightaway between the tri-oval and turn number 1. It's a long drive out there. And the green flag is out here at Talladega. The start of the Winston 500 here in 1991. And it looks like it's going to be dead even between Ricky Rudd and Phil Parsons to start. Now Ricky Rudd jumps out to a quick advantage, getting a good, strong push there from the man in black, Dale Earnhardt. He will go with them and move into the second position. They're going to go single file. The cars scream by at 160 miles an hour down the back straightaway. Dale Earnhardt ended up getting ran down by another one of the greats here at the Superspeedways, Bill Elliott, and they're already going 4 wide for position. Phil Parsons way up the track on the outside pole position. He's not even going to be inside the top 10, maybe not even inside the top 15 coming back to the line. Meanwhile, Elliott and Rudd, they're going to be very close here coming to the line. It looks like Elliott is going to clear him, though, and Bill Elliott is going to lead lap number 1. Bill Elliott, of course, always has a strong car here. Another driver that always has a strong car is the number 6 of Mark Martin. You can see him in the middle lane there. He's right behind the Tide Ride, Ken Schrader. And we've already got an accident here coming off the second turn. Hutch Strickland is on his side. And a lot of carnage here in the opening laps of the Winston 500. Gonna have to get a replay of what happened here. Do that really quick. This is always really hard because there's really no good camera angles, but you can see them. They're going 4 wide here. The 1, the 12, the 8, and the 55. They all get together, and they all just get together coming off of the second turn. Going too hard early, and you can see Hutch Strickland ending up going onto his side, and Bobby Hillen Jr. getting involved there. The 76. Stanley Smith staying far enough behind. A lot of cars piled up in that. Replay of the race back to the line. Bill Elliott is going to win that handily. And apparently we're still green. The yellow flag was never brought out for that. I have just realized that they never threw the yellow flag for that incident for some reason. Okay. So, no caution for that wreck, which is going to make the pack pretty well spread out. I'm not sure what the reason is. I know all the cars ended up getting back forward, and I guess there just isn't any debris on the track either, so the track's clean. All the cars ended up getting back going. Guess there really is no reason to throw the yellow flag, so these guys are still racing. Really harsh for the people that ended up being involved in that accident and having no caution thrown. Of course, Davey Allison out very early in 41st. Hutch Strickland also out. Bobby Hillen Jr. also retired due to that. I was saying earlier, Mark Martin always has a very strong car here at Talladega. He just went right by Bill Elliott. 4 Fords right now, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Mark Martin, of course, very strong car here early on. Coming up on the slow car of the 49. Stanley Smith involved in that incident. Looks like Ken Schrader ended up getting knocked back a little bit along with Michael Waltrip. They're going to have to catch back up. This is the lead pack that's going on right now, and that's currently being led by Mark Martin, followed by Alan Kulwicki. Ricky Rudd jumping to the bottom, and he'll actually get around Alan Kulwicki here. And no, Rick Mast will hold up the field, and Alan Kulwicki gets off scot-free. Temporarily, anyways. These slow cars are really going to slow the field down. And that's going to allow, there's this second pack here, which includes Daytona 500 winner Rusty Wallace. So this is going to be a chance for him to catch back up with a pack of some rather remarkable cars. I mean, we have Jimmy Spencer and Terry Labonte in here. Other than that, not much to speak of in this pack. And it looks like the lap traffic really spread these guys out now. Morgan Shepherd going down pit road. And I believe your leader is Ricky Rudd. No, your leader is Alan Kulwicki. But this is a pretty good train of 7, 8 cars here. And I'm going to imagine that they're going to run down the leader really quick, but not if they do that. Everyone trying to scramble around the one car there. And yeah, they ran down the leaders in a real quick jiffy. So Mark Martin continues to lead here. And after that caution, I got to tell you what, there's not going to be a really big pack for him to get shuffled back on. Mark Martin's officially the car to beat. Once again, here at Talladega, Mark Martin brings the car to beat. Ricky Rudd's going to definitely try, though. Neil Bonnet, in what will be his final Winston 500 appearance, he's going to want a shot at it. And, man, he's getting a really good shove by Brett Bodine in that 75 car. A really excellent shove, to say the least. Here comes the 33. He slides down. Harry Gant trying to get around Michael Waltrip. That's no good. Dick Trickle's still right there in the 66. He's still looking for his first career win. Same with Michael Waltrip. Harry Gant, of course, has not won since 1985. He wants to nab a W. And the leaders here have pretty much gotten into a train. Ricky Rudd still trying to bust up this train. Brett Bodine trying to go with them, and Neil Bonnet gets shuffled out. Bonnet's going to go way back here, too. See here. And now is when this line's going to get busted up here. Now Ricky Rudd is shuffled out. Brett Bodine down on the bottom. See if Brett Bodine can do anything about it. Of course, he's the only Oldsmobile up here. Oh, no, well, one of the two Oldsmobiles. My bad. I forgot that Harry Gant's still in an Olds as well. Harry Gant and Brett Bodine are in Oldsmobiles. You have all 5 of NASCAR's manufacturers being represented here. And what a move by Brett Bodine to tell Alan Kulwicki, no, you're not blocking me. I'm taking the position away from you. And now the two Oldsmobiles are going to work together here on the bottom line. And then we'll see if they can end up running down and getting around Mark Martin. Harry Gant, Brett Bodine working together. Neil Bonnet looked underneath Harry Gant. No avail. And there goes Harry Gant. He's going to try to go down and pass Brett Bodine. Does he have the push? Dick Trickle nowhere near him. Bodine should be able to clear the 33 coming back down. He does. And that should be enough momentum to get him around the 6 if he decides to try to go. Can he get there? Harry Gant pulls down, and Gant's going to go for the position instead. So Gant now pulls up into the 2nd position. Now it's time to figure out how fast Gant's car is. They're going 3 wide for the 3rd position. And now we can see the slow cars once again here. We're going to see how this shuffles up the lead pack. And it looks like it's going to benefit Harry Gant. Mark Martin caught behind the slow car. Harry Gant's able to sneak all the way through. And Gant is going to maybe take the lead. Will Bonnet be able to get around? No. Wow, Gant trying to block Bonnet all the way down to the apron. Not the case. Bonnet is able to sneak through, and Neil Bonnet will end up taking the lead. So meanwhile, I'd like to take the time to take a look at a secondary pack here that's happened. This is about 5 or 6 cars or so, but they are 5 out of the 6 fastest cars in the field, really. We got Jeff Bodine, Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, Tim Richmond, and the caution flag is back out. Well, actually, the caution flag is out for the first time today, I should say. It should have been thrown earlier, but it just wasn't. We'll see if Neil Bonnet will be able to defend his line, come into the start and finish line. And Dick Trickle unable to make a move. And Bonnet will take him to the stripe. Now to figure out exactly what happened here. I believe it was the 51 car, so this is the larger of the two packs. So we'll try to figure out exactly what happened here with the 51 machine. He ends up going slow. He gets hit by Dave Marcus. Rob Moroso involved. Dale Jarrett does a great job of avoiding that. A fantastic drive job by Jarrett there. And Purvis gets the car turned back around and is going forward. So the caution is out for the first time here today at Talladega. As we're now pretty much going to wait for the cars to come down pit road. Here they come off of turn number 4. We'll see who merges down to pit road. It should be pretty much everyone here. Everyone, well, they're all lapped down. So all of the leaders coming down pit road. All of the leaders coming down pit road. And you can see the signs down are the ones of the drivers who are not finishing the race today, which is why you see Allison's sign down. Now, here we go with the pit stops. Amoroso pulls through. Should be a 2-tire stop for everyone. Who wins the race off of pit road? Dick Trickle is going to come off of pit road with the lead. Harry Ganton second, Neil Bonnet third, Alan Kulwicki fourth, Brett Bodine fifth, Michael Waltrip sixth, Ken Schrader seventh, Mark Martin eighth, Greg Sachs in the 47 comes out in ninth, and Ernie Irvin. Probably not Ernie Irvin. Ricky Rudd should be 10th. We'll see though. And now you can see all those cars there, those 5 cars, they are 1 lap down. Morgan Shepherds, Stanley Smith, Phil Parsons, Rick Mass, Darrell Waltrip. And Rob Moroso, my bad. So right now, the 66... Dick Trickle should be your leader. I don't know if we'll see these 6 guys dive down into pit road or not. We'll find out. It looks like, yes, indeed, they are going to all go down pit road. Maybe. Rick Mast is going to stay out. And Rob Moroso is also going to stay out. So 4 of the lapped cars are going to pit. So what's going to happen now is if Rick Mast and Rob Moroso decide to just not pit throughout the entirety of the yellow flag period, these guys are actually going to start in front of Dick Trickle, and everyone else that is a lap down is going to start on the inside line. That's what's going on there. So once again, a rundown of the top 10 because it is a little different from what I said. The top 10 is going to be Dick Trickle, the lead. Harry Gant second. Neil Bonnet third. We have Alan Kulwicki fourth. Brett Bodine fifth. Michael Waltrip sixth. Ricky Rudd seventh. Ken Schrader in eighth. Mark Martin ninth. And Greg Sachs in the 47 car rounding out the top 10. Of course, Greg Sachs with one of the most interesting one-off wins in NASCAR history, taking his number 10 unsponsored car to victory lane in the Daytona 500 in 1985. Of course, he wouldn't even finish in the top 30 in points, meaning he didn't even have a ride until this year. In fact, he has been absent from the throwbacks. He has not been around. This is the first full season that he has attempted since that Daytona winning Cinderella story in 1985, where he put that 10 car on the pole at all 4 super speedways that year, but only won the Daytona 500. The rest of the 3 of them, he DNF'd. He finished worse than 35th. So this is the first time that we've seen Greg Sachs in a very, very long time here in the throwbacks. And of course, we are glad for him to return. So I don't see any more carnage being added on here. Oh, Morgan Shepherd has decided to retire from the race. And it looks like the 2 guys, or who is going to drop down to the inside? Okay, so Rob Moroso, he's not going to drop down to the inside. He will stay there and restart in front. I did not realize it, but apparently that 8 car is 3 laps down. 2 laps down, my bad. That car is actually 2 laps down. The 17 car is a lap down. The 1 car is 2 laps down. And the 49 car. Those are all 2 lap down cars. Only the 20 is on the tail end of the lead lap, so he will start in front of the leader. So I was not aware of it, so I apologize for the incorrect information there. Watching, of course, our Winston Million eligible driver, Rusty Wallace. He is currently in the 16th position, and he's really been nowhere to be seen so far. His fastest lap is only 27th fastest. And we've seen some really incredible speed so far today. Harry Gant peaking at over 204 miles an hour. So the cars have been incredibly fast here at Talladega today. And Rick Mast pulls off the track. So clearly he's got more repairs to do on his Snickers Buick. So the Stavola brothers have to work out some more kinks. Pace car pulls down onto pit road. We have a total of 33 cars on the lead lap, not including Rob Moroso. 5 cars a lap down. Well, now 4. We don't know what's going on with Rick Mast. That'll put us with 37 cars on the track as we come down to the line. And the green flag is back out. Here they come. The cars screaming across the line. Drivers already trying to pass each other. Passing on the right-hand side is, of course, legal before getting to the line. And Rob Moroso is really holding people up. Dick Trickle, it seems like he did the right thing trying to get around Rob Moroso, because Moroso is really holding people up. And here comes Brett Bodine down to the bottom of the track. Cars flying by here on the back straightaway. Again, over 180 miles an hour here going into corner number 3. Dick Trickle holding on to the lead with a very aggressive block here on Brett Bodine. So it looks like that we're going to have 2 packs once again. The pack that is going for the lead and a secondary pack that's going to be much larger. Darrell Waltrip trying to fight to stay 1 lap down, I believe. But that's probably not going to last long. Brett Bodine is right there, and he's going to be able to get around the 17 car. So Brett Bodine led that lap. Mark Martin's right there. Jimmy Spencer's on the lead lap. Michael Waltrip in the 30 car, he's on the lead lap. So here's the second pack that ended up forming, and this extends from Kyle Petty on back to Ernie Irvin. I don't think Eddie Bierschwell's a part of that. Neither is Rusty Wallace or Harry Gant. And then we have another pack here that ends up including drivers such as Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, and Neil Bonnet. I believe those are the only 3 packs that we have. And Mark Martin very quickly finds his way back to the lead here in this pack. Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer, right behind him in the second position. Ken Schrader in third, and we were just talking about Greg Sachs before. He's really muscling up that 47 machine. He's moved up into the 4th position. Fantastic performance by that team. Ken Schrader dives down to the bottom. It's been a while since we've seen Schrader towards the front. We know that those Hendrick cars always unload fast on these super speedways. It looks like the front 2 packs are trying to combine, but it's very, very spread out. So all of the packs are kind of combining into one large, kind of single file train at this moment as everyone's trying to bunch back up. Just a run-in with one lap car, and you'll see what I mean as they fly by on the back straightaway here. All the packs are trying to join up. You can see everyone running single file for the most part, and then there's just the scattered cars throughout the track. So right now, it looks like Mark Martin, Ken Schrader, they're trying to work together to pull away from this pack. Jimmy Spencer trying his best to keep up there in the 3rd position. We have Kyle Petty now coming into the top 5. He moves into 4th. He's got Bill Elliott right behind him there in the 5th position. Excuse me. Kyle Petty is in... Yeah, I already said that. Okay, so Kyle Petty is in 4th. I wanted to make sure I wasn't saying 5th. But yeah, Kyle Petty in 4th. Bill Elliott behind him in 5th. That 17 car is a lap down. Several laps down. Nope, just one lap down. Okay. So that 17 car is one lap down. Wow, Jimmy Spencer with a very aggressive move there. Jimmy's racing like he wants to win, that's for sure. That was Jimmy's best lap of the race, but it was also really slow at 201.685 miles an hour. That's only good for 22nd fastest. Harry Gant still with the fastest time of the day at over 204 miles an hour. Gant is nowhere to be found. And where is that speedy 33 car? There he is. Yep, he's leading this pack. And he's got a very strong Oldsmobile, as we saw earlier. So he's going to try to tow this pack forward. Sterling Marlin, someone who always does very well on the big tracks. Rusty Wallace. We have Ernie Irvin right here. There's also Neil Bonnet right there. So we have a ton of guys that typically do pretty well, with the exception of Rusty Wallace. A bunch of guys that typically do pretty well in the super speedways. And now Jimmy Spencer's actually gotten around Ken Schrader for the 2nd position. So now Jimmy Spencer's right there, and he's trying to catch up. He's playing big-time catch-up right now with Mark Martin. 3 wide. 3 wide for the 3rd position. Bold moves continuing to be busted out here by that 98 team. Man, Spencer's really playing this like he wants to win. He's driving like it's the last lap. Yeah. You can't drive it like it's the last lap every lap, but you know what? Spencer's definitely one of those drivers that's going to try to do that. Here's rookie Bobby Hamilton in that 68 car. This is probably going to be his best chance to pick up his first career win in what will probably be a long time. And now we have the 2 Pettys connecting with each other. Richard Petty leading Kyle right now. Will they work together? Alan Kulwicki says, nope, I'm going to break you guys up, and he's going to dive down to the inside of both of them. But Kyle Petty clears him going into 3. Good Lord. Rob Moroso slow on the bottom. So the entire bottom line's going to get choked up, and Mark Martin's going to drive away. That's also going to break up the 2 Pettys as well. So Richard Petty will move into 2nd position. Crowd very happy about seeing the King towards the front. Darrell Waltrip, again, he is a lap down. So Ken Schrader is actually in 2nd position right now. And here's a driver who we haven't seen a lot of today, but you know he's always very fast when it comes to these big tracks. Jeff Bodine in that number 11 car. Don't ever count him out. And he's very strong in that car. Very, very strong. The 66 just jumped right down in front of not Ken Schrader. That is Tim Richmond. Just jumped right down in front of him. So Dick is also being aggressive. Schrader trying to find a way around Mark Martin. He'll do it. He jumps right down to the inside. So Martin went out there leading those laps. That'll get him some bonus points. They're going to try to go 3 wide for the lead. Kyle Petty jumps all the way down to the bottom of the track. Kyle Petty with a very strong push from Ricky Rudd. Dick Trickle right there in the 3rd position. And let's see if Ricky Rudd's going to be able to make a move. No, Ricky Rudd pulls out. He's going to make the move. Can he pass him before getting to the line? It looks like, yes, the bonus points will go to Ricky Rudd. So Ricky Rudd back in the lead here at Talladega. Now they approach the 49 of Stanley Smith. They're going to try their best to not get bunched up here. A couple of cars, Mark Martin and Alan Kulwicki, they end up being sacrificed here. Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd, Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle's had a very strong performance so far today. I mean, this is the fastest I've seen that 66 car in a long time. They're doing a great, great job right now. Yeah, that team is really, really strong right now. A prestige win like this would definitely go a long way towards helping Cale Yarborough's organization there with that 66 machine. Hey, he originally had Dale Jarrett on the team, which was like cool, but then he ended up going with Dick instead, and you know, Dick has not exactly done well in that 66 car. Well, neither did Jarrett, but you know, he's an aging driver, obviously. He's getting pretty close to 50, even though his rookie season was just a couple of seasons ago. He's been a dirt track racer his entire life, and he's just now coming up to the Cup Series. So you got to figure, okay, so that last lap car that they ended up passing really ended up breaking up this entire pack. Like that Stanley Smith, I guess, really, really messed those guys up. So now it's pretty much single file all the way back to, I'd say, 20th. Single file. And Darrell Waltrip wants to make an interesting move. Doesn't work. Again, he's a lap down. Goes Bill Elliott around Dick Trickle as well. So Elliott moves into second. He's being pushed by Michael Waltrip. Now this would be an interesting story if Darrell was actually on the lead lap, but that's just not the case. It's Michael this time that's on the lead lap, and he's in third, and he's right there, having yet another strong showing It was Talladega not too long ago where he was actually leading on the last lap and it looked like he was going to win. But the win was just taken away from him by Mark Martin at the last possible second. And it just wasn't meant to be for that 30 car. Meanwhile, Michael Waltrip looks like he's going to get pushed to the lead by brother Darrell. And Darrell's actually going to make a move on him to try to get a lap back. Meanwhile, Greg Sachs hit pit road. So that just opened up the hornet's nest for everyone to jumble for the lead. And who's going to take advantage of that? Of course, it's going to be the number 25 of Tim Richmond. Now, what Darrell Waltrip is really hoping for here is that the caution flag to come out. If that comes out, he should be back on the lead lap. But that caution flag needs to come out. Wait for scoring. Yeah. The caution comes out. He is back on the lead lap. So right now, Darrell Waltrip really hoping for that second pack to wreck. And man, I tell you what, that second pack is coming. There it is. They're hounding. They're trucking along, too, at 200. I'm seeing a lot of 201s, 202s in this pack. So they're trucking along at over 200 miles an hour. Well over 200 miles an hour. These guys are not. They're not pulling 201, 202. They're doing 200 flat. So the other pack is going a good 2 miles an hour faster than they are. Well, we'll see when they come to the line. That was 195 mile an hour lap time out of Terry Labonte that time. So not exactly inspiring, considering that the leaders just did 200. Meanwhile, the pack ended up getting broken up yet again, this time due to the 20 car of Rob Moroso. And at this point, it's pretty much who will have the best luck. And right now, the luck has definitely fallen the wayside of the 66 machine of Dick Trickle. There is no doubt about that. Dick Trickle continuing to lead here at Talladega. He is the middle car here in the 3. Darrell Waltrip is on the tail end of the lead lap. The 25 car there of Tim Richmond, he is in the second position. Here you can see 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd, and Michael Waltrip. And then here is 6th. A big pack battle for the 6th position. Going a little bit further back, Rusty Wallace scored an 18th. He's getting into a battle with Sterling Marlin. They're trying to catch this big pack up here. We'll see if they're able to do that. And a couple of other drivers trying to muscle their way through some lap traffic. And now we're actually having pit stops occurring. And with Darrell Waltrip pulling off the track and going down pit road, that opened the door for former teammate Tim Richmond to come out and take the lead. So now Tim Richmond is your leader. Dick Trickle, second place. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what the strategy here that Trickle or Richmond plays. They got to both pit at the same time, you would think, and that's exactly what they're going to do. We'll see who dares to stay out. And it looks like the daring people to stay out here are going to be Richard Petty and Ken Schrader, along with the lap down car of Greg Sachs. So Richard Petty's going to run a time all alone here, and Sachs is basically also, Schrader is basically also going to run a time all alone. Petty's going to get some draft here. But you want to know what else he's going to get? 5 bonus points for leading that lap. Yes, even for 20th place teams, 5 bonus points matters. So we'll see Richard Petty. He will peel off the track here. 10 laps to go in the Winston 500. We'll see who gets out of pit road first. It looks like it's going to be Dick. Dick Trickle peels off pit road first. And it's going to be 9.5 laps to decide who is going to get back to the line first. It's essentially this two-car battle between Dick Trickle and Tim Richmond. But we also have the added flavor of the 17 of Darrell Waltrip being put in there. Man, a strong push from Darrell Waltrip will keep Dick Trickle out in front, but for how long will that happen? Michael Waltrip in 4th, Bill Elliott in 5th, Bobby Hamilton in 6th. We have Ricky Rudd in 7th, Neil Bonnet 8th, Kyle Petty 9th, Rusty Wallace is in the 10th position. Well, excuse me, that's actually probably going to change because here comes Ken Schrader and Richard Petty back onto the track now. And now you can see the two leaders. They're starting to navigate some slower cars there in Phil Parsons and Dave Marcus. They'll need to navigate around them pretty much perfectly. Will this pack be able to run down the leaders? And it's going to be a very interesting scenario. Dick Trickle is your leader in that 66 machine. And it looks like that pack is going to be 3.5 seconds behind. Can they make up 3.5 seconds in roughly 8 laps? It's going to be a very tall task, even if they're just trying to run down those 3 cars. It seems like it should be easily done, but you never know with how momentum's going to go at Talladega. And this is going to not play in Dick Trickle's favor here with Stanley Smith holding him up. That's not going to play in Trickle's favor at all. Dick Trickle trying to get through the middle here. He's not going to lose any position. Remember, the only driver that he is racing right now is that 25 car. Everyone else is a lap down. So the only guy he's racing for position is that 25 machine. And here comes the pack. That was all they needed. That little slowdown was all they needed. Ricky Rudd and company are flying up here. Yep, we'll see how much faster they're going here. They got to be going a good 10 miles an hour faster, but then again, they also have to navigate all the slow traffic that Dick Trickle and Tim Richmond just had to navigate. Look at this cut by Ricky Rudd. And we're seeing some very aggressive racing here out of this 26 machine. Right now, all the glory's going to Dick Trickle, though. He's just gluing right to the back of the 17 car. He knows he doesn't have to race him. He just needs to stay to the back of one of the faster cars on the track. That's all that he needs to do. Just stay in line. He's not alone. But he's still getting ran down. The pack is here. Here comes Richmond down to the bottom. Here comes Rudd down to the bottom of Richmond. 3 wide. Trickle tries to block them all. He's able to. What an aggressive move by Trickle. Dick Trickle hanging on to the lead by the skin of his teeth. A dirt short track driver his entire career, winning at least 700 races on the dirt track circuit. This is his first time to truly shine on a massive super speedway. Can he hang on? It does not look like he'll be able to. 3 wide for the lead. Richmond shuts the door on Rudd. Ricky Rudd now trying to find a way around the 25. Dick Trickle trying to get some run on the outside. Of course, they got the slow car of Rob Moroso. Moroso getting in the way. Trickle's going to end up sliding back because now he's stuck behind Moroso. And now the 25 car will take the absolute lead. 4 wide, trying to jumble around that number 20 machine. Moroso really slow there on the high lane. That's going to take a couple of guys out. We have now about 6 or 7 guys left, and none of them are Dick Trickle. Tim Richmond in the lead. Neil Bonnet second. Brett Bodine third. Ricky Rudd fourth. Richard Petty fifth. And Mark Martin in sixth. Darrell Waltrip also maintains that pack, but again, Waltrip is 1 lap down. Bonnet goes to the bottom of Tim Richmond. He's going to try to take the lead. He's going to try to gain the draft here of the slow car of Derek Cope. Can he move out of the way of Cope here coming down to the tri-oval? Yes, he will. He's out of Cope's way. But Bonnet lost a lot of momentum there. Darrell Waltrip's down to his bottom, and now it looks like Brett Bodine is in prime position to be able to take the lead. Going into turn number 1, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. So Brett Bodine now taking the lead here, coming off of turn number 2, all alone, trying to stay to the back of that 17 car. Now they have the slow car of Jeff Purvis, the 51. They have to try to navigate around him. Darrell Waltrip goes down low. Brett Bodine will follow, and most of the pack will follow with him. Jeff Purvis stays slow up high, and now Richard Petty is behind the 75. The rest of the pack ends up slowing down. Then they come to the line. There will be 2 laps to go. Mark Martin is right there. Bill Elliott is right there. I don't think anybody else can make it. 2 laps to go as they come across the line. This has been a very frantic final 10 laps after those pit stops. I think that is the last of the slow traffic they will have to navigate around. A lap and a half left. Brett Bodine trying to get career win number 1. Richard Petty, the king, trying to get career win number 199. Mark Martin just trying to get a win in general. It does not look like Martin's going to have any chance of catching back up. This is all going to be between Brett Bodine and Richard Petty going into turn number 3. Darrell Waltrip just staying in front, just being like, race me clean, please. I just want to finish this race. He's in 30th place, 1 lap down, but he has been the leader of this pack the entire time for the most part. Brett Bodine coming through the tri-oval. He's going to take the white flag as he passes the line. 1 lap to go here from Talladega. Richard Petty dives down to the inside. Can he get to the inside of Brett Bodine? Yes, he will. Richard Petty will take the lead here through corner number 2. Coming onto the backstretch, the fans absolutely erupt. The king is in the lead on the last lap here at Talladega. Will Mark Martin once again try to be a spoiler? Mark Martin is really catching up to Brett Bodine and Richard Petty. I don't think he's catching them at a fast enough rate. They're going through turn 3. Mark Martin really catching rapidly, but it looks like he's going to run out of momentum. Here comes Brett Bodine down to the bottom. Mark Martin also goes down. Richard Petty cuts across. He blocks them both. Petty blocks him through the tri-oval. They'll come to the line. Richard Petty is going to win the Winston 500. What a finish. They were 3 wide coming off of turn number 4. Richard Petty just getting the so slight draft assist from the lapped car of Darrell Waltrip. And Richard Petty will hold on for career win number 199 here at Talladega. His first win since 1983. What a fantastic run by the king today. He put a perfectly timed move on the 75 car, and he is once again going back to victory lane, and the crowd is absolutely loving it here today. What a race. This has just been a phenomenal race to cover. Yet another great Talladega race. Exactly what you would expect out of this race. So now to review the point standings, because Richard Petty just ended up taking a win in a race I'm pretty sure nobody was prepared for him to win. That'll actually move Richard Petty up to 35th in points. He's actually failed to qualify for 2 races this season. And that win is just, that win is just so huge for that racing team. It's been so long since that 43 car has been to victory lane. But we take a look at the points. Mark Martin now has taken the lead, but definitely not solidly. Rusty Wallace is in second, Ricky Rudd in third, Alan Kulwicki fourth, Jeff Bodine fifth. They're all still within 100 points of Mark Martin, the points leader. who has not had a pole or a win yet this season, but clearly that doesn't matter. It's all about consistency. And that's something that Mark Martin has been great at. Wow, what a great Talladega race we have had. And what a great way, Richard Petty to take career win number 199. Wow. Anyways, that will conclude our broadcast today at Talladega. Tune in next time for the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the third of the Winston Million races. We'll see you then.